Howdy folks, this is Checkers, and this of course is Starfield, and I believe this is episode 8 of our Let's Play, and we are here outside of the mast building because, well, you know, I was going to ignore the UC Vanguard, but I realized I pretty much ignore most factions, so why don't we try something different and give it a whirl. See what they are about. And we have Sarah racing to catch up. I did do a little bit of housekeeping in between and sold some things and tucked some away at the lodge. Noelle also told me that my father had stopped by to drop off a note, which was more than a little eerie as my father passed earlier this year. But then I remembered, oh yeah, I took the kid stuff perk. Right. Okay, so let's come in here and see if he still wants to offer us some work as a privateer, it seems.
Hey, Sarah's friend. You come to enlist at long last? Start earning your stripes with the Vanguard?
What exactly is the Vanguard?
We're the United Colonies volunteer fleet. Any captain can join, regardless of origin. Get to fly your own ship and earn credits as you help the people in the most distant reaches of the United Colonies, all while earning your way to UC citizenship. Put in the time, and citizenship is guaranteed.
Okay, and what sort of work would I be doing if I enlisted?
Vanguard work is as needed. When we've got jobs, we'll make them available to you. But the work itself, well, it runs the gamut. Sometimes you might be hunting down hostile ships on behalf of the UC Navy, or you might be called up to help the Science Division clean up some invasive species. Hell, we've even been asked to help take on the occasional terramorph. And sometimes we just need cargo support. Not every job's glamorous. The Vanguard only gets called in for the ones where there's a chance of seeing action. Wherever the UC needs us, the Vanguard is there.
And out of curiosity, why would I want to become a UC citizen?
Well, other than becoming a member of the greatest faction in the galaxy, you'd get access to discounted services on any UC world, credits to help you get on your feet. You'd even be able to buy property right here in New Atlantis. Citizenship unlocks it all, and signing up for the Vanguard is the fastest way to earn it.
Okay, I'm game. Just tell me what I need to do next.
Well, all right. Take the elevator down to the Vanguard Orientation Hall. You can get started at any of the registration terminals. The system will walk you through the rest. And if you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay, or not. I think you've already answered them anyway, but thank you. Okay. Vanguard Orientation Hall. Is Sarah? Yeah, Sarah's coming along. Vanguard registration. Applicant name, current bounty 0. Well, that's going to change. To register for your examination, please select Enlistment Agreement. Note, any outstanding UC bounty must be paid before proceeding. Enlistment Agreement. By joining the United Colonies Vanguard, you agree to perform necessary services for the United Colonies that could place you in serious danger, resulting in harm to your craft or yourself up to and including death. I, Checkers Prefect, agree. Consent documented. You may proceed to the examination chamber through the orientation hall. Okay.
Registration accepted. You may now proceed through the historical displays in the orientation hall, or continue on to the examination.
Ooh, historical displays. I like historical displays. Huh. The end of Earth. Oh, I was wondering about that. Okay,
In 2150, humanity learned the Earth's magnetosphere would collapse sometime in the next half-century, eliminating all life on the planet. Decisive action was required, but the secure transport of an entire civilization would demand a new kind of cooperation, a new kind of courage, and a new kind of union. Thus, in 2159, the United Colonies were formed to make that journey possible. Just 1 year later, the Galileo, the first of many colony ships, touched down here on Jemison, beginning a new era of human history, the age of the United Colonies.
The effort and planning it must have taken to evacuate literally the entire planet. Can you imagine? The logistics alone must have been mind-boggling.
Seriously. What? Why is there a disc with a screw on top of the world? Okay. So many puns. Okay, huh. New factions rise.
From their foundation, the United Colonies strove to provide all their citizens with opportunity, security, and peace. But there were those among the UC that still wanted something more. Independence. So in 2161, the UC issued the Centaurus Proclamation, granting UC citizens the right to settle distant worlds and form their own sovereign powers. It wasn't long before the first new faction, the Freestar Collective, was formally organized in 2188, later followed by House Varun, revealing themselves to the universe in 2230.
The result of the Centaurus Proclamation has always left me torn. So much conflict arose as a result. Was it worth it?
I don't know. I don't remember what that was now. Maybe I'll still learn.
It was only in 2230 that the faction known as House Varun first made contact with the rest of the settled systems. Founded by the passengers of a colony ship that had left New Atlantis and disappeared 4 decades earlier, House Varun was a faction unlike any other. A theocracy dedicated wholly to the beliefs of its isolationist founder, Jinan Varun. House Varun initially made overtures of peace towards the rest of the settled systems. They claimed their only intention was to spread the word of their god, the Great Serpent. But none could have guessed that this worship might take the form of a bloody war, the Serpents Crusade.
Alrighty, looks like we've got a quest. Why don't we switch to the one we're on here? Okay, there we go. Oh, it's actually leading us through this. The Freestar Collective.
The Freestar Collective was initially founded in 2188, when the citizens of Aquila banded together with the pleasure city of Neon in mutual defense. But in 2194, after the deployment of a UC medical star station in orbit around their world, the citizens of Nerion also requested to join the collective. The resulting rise in tensions between the Freestar Collective and UC culminated in the settled system's first intergalactic conflict, the Nerion War. Despite a decisive victory by the UC, the colonies permitted the citizens of Nerion to join the collective, forming the basis for the fiercely independent union that persists to this day.
All right, then. The Nerion War. The history of the Nerion War. Beginning in 2196, the Nerion War, humanity's first large-scale conflict among the stars, is remembered as a defining moment for the settled systems. As the first major conflict to make extensive use of grav-jump-enabled ships, the Nerion War was less defined by key space battles and more by an extended cat-and-mouse interplay between the two powers, as the well-armed and professional UC Navy tried again and again to pin down the piecemeal but savvy Freestar fleet. Unable to strike the killing blow, the UC resorted to ever more severe tactics to try and drive the Collective to capitulate, but without success. In fact, after many long years of war with little to show for it, even the populace of the UC itself began to turn against the cause, with protests roiling even New Atlantis, the citizenry demanding the war finally come to a humane close. So when at long last the final blow was struck, with the UC Navy finally cornering and obliterating the Freestar fleet in 2216, it was a hollow victory. It was from the resulting negotiations, the Treaty of Nerion, that the settled systems as we know them today emerged, both literally and figuratively. Despite winning the war, the UC found themselves in an unenviable position, painted as a brutal aggressor even in their home systems. So, in the spirit of unity and lasting peace, the UC agreed to the demands of the Freestar Collective and the Nerion settlers whose collusion triggered the conflict in the first place, and handed over Nerion to the Collective, as they had requested at the start of hostilities, including the Clinic Medical Star Station, creating the Freestar Collective as we know it to this day. In return, the UC demanded two concessions. The first was payment for damages done in the form of mineral rights on multiple worlds across the galaxy. The second, more significant demand was that no great faction may ever colonize more than 3 systems. The UC would have Alpha Centauri, Sol, and Wolf, and the Freestar Collective, Cheyenne, Volii, and Nerion. The Freestar Collective agreed to these terms, creating and codifying into law the settled systems as we know them today. The Treaty of Nerion has since become the foundation of all contemporary political relations, and its only official violation, the cause of the galaxy's greatest conflict, the Colony War. To learn more about the Colony War, please proceed to the Conflict Among the Stars mural. Okay, did we miss any of those little kiosks? I don't think so. Okay. I love this kind of stuff. The Serpents Crusade.
Beginning in 2240, House Varun forces declared all-out war on the rest of human civilization, initiating the Serpents Crusade. Over the next 23 years, thousands of Freestar, UC, and independent souls were killed by agents of House Varun in the name of their serpent god. It was only with the death of their founder in 2263 and the succession of his heir Jarek that House Varun finally sued for peace. There remained, however, select members of House Varun who refused to recognize the cessation of hostilities their leaders established. Even after House Varun's mysterious disappearance, these zealots remain a threat to all who encounter them. Their pacification, a goal of all space.
Okay. Conflict among the stars. Okay.
Of the many conflicts between the galaxy's factions, none was more brutal than the recent colony war between the UC and the Freestar Collective. Set off by the unauthorized Freestar colonization of Vesta's Pride in 2308, a direct violation of the Nerion Treaty, the colony war spread quickly across the galaxy. Both sides deployed every tool at their disposal. Armadas of warships, mechanized combat platforms, or mechs, even bioengineered alien creatures, the infamous UC xeno-weapons. It was only in 2311 at the Battle of Cheyenne that the scales finally tipped, the Freestar Collective, utilizing their civilian fleet as a human shield, successfully crippled the superior United Colonies Navy. After their shocking victory against the galaxy's greatest navy, the Freestar Collective offered terms of peace, which the colonies, out of an interest in staving off any further human costs, accepted. The galaxy has been rebuilding ever since.
The Colony War was a horrible conflict that irreparably wounded the settled systems. There were times I felt that it would never end.
The Battle of Nera.
Few settled worlds were left untouched by the Colony War. But nowhere could the viciousness of modern warfare be seen more clearly than on the Freestar planet of Nera. Initially occupied by invading United Colonies forces as a forward operating position, repeated attempts to take and retake the planet by collective forces led only to devastation. Swaths of the world were transformed into scorched husks, a nightmarish testament to the depths of human ingenuity and human cruelty. And today, Nera remains a continuing reminder to the horrors of unfettered war.
Ooh. Huh. That's cool. That's terrifying. The Terror of Londonian.
In the midst of the Colony War, a different kind of tragedy struck the UC city of Londonian. A newly constructed but critical supply center for the United Colonies war effort, Londonian found itself overrun by one of the galaxy's most mysterious predators, the Terramorph. A rare but pervasive threat to all human-settled worlds, Terramorphs swept over the city, seemingly out of nowhere, on a scale never before seen in recorded history. Valiant efforts by the UC military slowed the onslaught, but the creatures proved unstoppable. Ultimately, the decision was made to destroy the Londonian spaceport, sealing off the city, the outbreak, and its citizenry from the galaxy at large. The tragedy of Londonian is mourned by the UC to this day.
So, they blew up the spaceport. That doesn't necessarily say that they could stop anyone from leaving. Anyway, or going there. And that one seems a little unclear to me.
You know it was some UC general that condemned Londonian? Gave it over to these things.
One of my slates,
One of these murals said he was executed after the war.
Minds.
Might have gotten off too lightly.
That can't be true.
Okay, you kids discuss that amongst yourself then. The Armistice. 1 second, I have a house panther trying to climb the curtains. Okay, here we go.
After the devastation wrought by the Colony War, the UC and the Freestar Collective came together to ratify a treaty that became known as the Armistice. Both sides agreed to a vast reduction in standing forces, and that xeno-weapons and mech warfare would be outlawed. All related research was sealed away, accessible only in cases of dire emergency. But the Collective had another demand, that the active commanders of the UC military stand trial for their actions. The United Colonies, in the interest of peace and galactic security, agreed. In 2311, 3 United Colonies senior officers were found guilty. Commander Henry Durant, General Indira Rastogi, and Fleet Admiral Francois Sanon, known better as Ve Victus. All were sentenced to death for their actions, bringing the colony war to a close and returning peace to the galaxy at long last.
I was a strong supporter of the Armistice. All of the terrible weapons that both sides used against one another. It had to end.
What does that say? By order of Armistice, Article 1361A, there shall be established a central archive guarded by 3 parties, the Freestar Collective, House of Varun, and the United Colonies, for the collection and protection of all knowledge, research, and documentation depicting, describing, or in any way related to the technologies and mechanisms banned by this armistice. It shall be governed by the following laws. 1. Access to all information in this archive will be mutually managed by all 3 parties. Access is only permitted by unanimous agreement of authorized factional representatives. 2. The facility will be under the direct control of no sovereign faction, with no single party permitted to overrule the others. All decisions regarding matters pertaining to the archives must be unanimous. 3. Any attempt at unauthorized access will be considered an act of aggression against all parties. Each party commits to defend the others against any such attempts. Well, alrighty then. I don't know why they put that through the thing. It's too hard to read. Anyway, the Vanguard is born. Shine on, you crazy little robot.
It was into this new world that the Vanguard was born. An official branch of the UC Navy, the Vanguard is the United Colonies volunteer fleet, serving a myriad of security, logistical, and reconnaissance roles. And after a sufficient length of service, UC citizenship is guaranteed to every Vanguard member. Open to all captains, regardless of origin, the Vanguard is leading the charge to protect and support the citizens of the United Colonies, wherever in the galaxy they may be.
This is very reminiscent of something in Star Citizen. Anyway, okay, and that is cool. The United Colonies citizen.
No one is born a United Colonies citizen. Only through service to the UC can one hope to earn one's citizenship. But the UC prides itself on taking care of its people. Cost of living controls mean citizens pay less than their foreign counterparts for needs big and small. All citizens are issued a grant upon joining to get themselves on their feet. And only UC citizens have the opportunity to purchase property, getting the chance to live in one of the most beautiful cities in the settled systems. By joining the Vanguard today, you too can begin earning your place here, in the heart of galactic civilization, as a citizen of the United Colonies.
Okay. What is next?
There's something I need to talk to you about.
Okay, well, why don't we step out of the elevator?
Thanks for taking the time to talk. I wanted to ask you about the artifact you found on Bactera. When you pulled it from the rock, held it in your hands for the first time, how did you feel?
Well, I had visions, heard sounds and music. It's difficult to describe.
No, I don't think you understand. I know about the visions, the light, and the music. How did you feel inside? What were your thoughts?
It was like instantaneously being pulled across the entire galaxy.
Oh my goodness. That must have been terrifying. When it comes to the artifacts, it never ceases to amaze me how the science, well, simply fails.
Why didn't you bring this up back at the lodge?
Honestly, I wasn't sure how you'd react. Some people would consider what you went through a deeply personal experience.
I have no problem being open about these things.
Good. We need all the help we can get. The artifacts are so different, so alien, and I'm certain one of them reached out and spoke to you. Quite the mystery.
Yeah, I'd say it definitely felt like it was trying to communicate.
Agreed. Unfortunately, there's no way that I know of to reply, and believe me, I've been trying to gather data on the damn things for years.
What sort of data have you gathered?
Not much, I'm afraid. All I have to show for my efforts are eyewitness accounts, scores of inconclusive metallurgical test results, and wild theories.
The whole experience must be incredibly frustrating.
Frustrating? No. Bewildering? Yes. It would be, oh, well, an explorer's dream to solve a mystery like this.
Then we'll get to the bottom of this mystery together.
I knew I picked the right person for the job. Look, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to talk, and for keeping an open mind. And I also wanted to say, well, I'm pleased we're on this journey together. It's the best decision I've made in quite a long time.
Alrighty. More boats. Love the boats. Okay.
Welcome, applicant, to the piloting simulation chamber.
I've spent a fair bit of time in simulators just like these. They're startlingly realistic. Have fun.
Huh. Thanks, I think I will. Lots of goodies around. But we are getting a bit close to time, and I can hear my voice starting to get rough again. It's been days, I don't know why. But let's pause here for right now. It looks like we go in there next, so when next we meet, we'll pick up and head into the simulator and see what kind of trouble we can get into. For the moment, I would like to say thank you so much for joining me and Sarah on our journey through time and space in the historical archives of the UC Vanguard Orientation Center. I hope you found the video entertaining and maybe even just a little bit informative. I would like to invite you to think of something you are truly grateful for, something that brings a smile to your face, a true warmth to your heart. Maybe it's your favorite book, your most loved song, the best movie you've ever seen. Maybe it is your best friend or your significant other or the one you hope will soon be. Maybe it is your first date or the last date you went on. Maybe it is a beloved pet, or maybe it was just firing a stray round into a simulator at the end of a video. Whatever it may be that brings a smile to your face and that joy to your heart, hang on to it for a moment and let it brighten your day. Most of all, though, I would like to ask you to please take care.